Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Alan here, and if you don't know me, I'm an entrepreneur from the UK and I've sold multiple businesses, run multiple businesses, and today we're going to talk about side hustles. Now, as you all know, and if you look at the video on the screen now, I've done a video on side hustles and the best side hustles to make you $1,000 per month. And luckily today, we've got two lovely ladies here who I know very well, and they have got an online travel business side hustle, which we're going to get into. So, Michaela, Hannah, welcome to my first podcast as well. How are you?
Good.
Very good. Very good. And you, Hannah, how are you?
I'm really well, thank you.
Very good. We will get into it. So if you can just tell me a little bit about yourselves and your background, all the way from school, if you really want, to working, and we'll get into the side hustle eventually. So yeah, do you want to start with you, Michaela?
Yeah, so I'm Michaela and I have an online travel platform. So let's go back a little while for me. So I'm a transport manager by day and I like to say a travel agent by night. I have two little girls.
It's ominous.
Very.
I have two little girls, Tilly and Annie. And basically I started this business 2.5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I was booking my trip to Disney World, Florida. Already booked it with a online / high street agent, because you can get them in both sorts of ways. And I'd paid my deposit. We were going with my mum, dad, and my sister. And I basically came across Hannah, who I did go to school with, and I found that she was, she had this online travel business, and I thought, oh, wonder what it is exactly that, you know.
So you found out from Hannah about the online travel business. That's where it started. Okay, right, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly where it started. So I am seeing it on Instagram and reached out, and you were saying, oh, well, you know, it's an option. Relatively small startup cost. So
How much did the startup cost?
£142 one-off payment.
Sign-on cost,
yeah. So that's it. You pay it once. So I said, okay, yeah, for such a big trip like Disney, it was worth it for me just to kind of put the feelers out and see how it worked. So I did that, and I saved £5,000 straight away compared to what I'd got off.
On the trip? On
the trip. Yeah, so the exact same itinerary that I'd already paid my deposits for with another travel agency. I basically saved £5,000 with our suppliers.
Wow.
And you also get 10% back on the 10% commission back when you come back.
So
from
originally,
the travel.
when you've started this, you've started thinking I'll save a few quid.
Yeah.
And then you've obviously seen the power of that and what else you can bring.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, right.
So that was like my starting point. And then that was, if I'm honest, that was kind of where I was going to finish it. I was just like, yeah, I'll book that trip. I'll go on it in 2023, and then I'll wait for my, so when we return, I'll get the commission back, and then I'll finish. And then I started telling people about this because, as I said, I didn't know that it was a thing. It's a lot more popular now than it was 2 years ago. Yeah. But I kind of thought, well, you know, I was telling people, and then people were asking me, oh, well, you know, is that something I could do? And I was like, yeah, like you can do it, or I can book you the trip, whichever one you prefer. Now, fast forward 2.5 years later, I've booked approximately £400,000 worth in travel for obviously other people, myself included, my family included, people that I know, now a little bit of an Instagram following. And
how many?
About 2,500 people.
And where can they find you?
They can find me on my Instagram page at @BeTravelSmart, B-double-E, just so we're all aware.
Buzzy B.
A Buzzy B, because they get everywhere. And so, yeah, that's how it started for me. So I still have my job as a transport manager. I've just been able to drop a day in work so that I can actually focus on my travel business, because really when I'm booking the trips for people, or if people are joining for themselves, it's making enough money for that day in work, but it's on my own terms. It's flexible. I can do what I want. You know, I can do the kids pick up and drop off rather than having to, you know, sort of be in work in an office. It's as I said, it's gone on such a journey that actually I didn't ever envisage. I never ever thought that this is where.
So the ability to drop your corporate job potentially by
drop a day, actually enjoy. I know it sounds awful, but I kind of got into a little bit of a rut in my like sort of day job, in inverted commas. Yeah. Wasn't massively enjoying it. No. Just was kind of going with the motions, like, you know, sometimes we all do.
Now you have a spa day every Friday.
What was that?
Spa day every Friday.
I probably do more work now than I've ever done.
Holidays as we record this, so maybe not on holidays, but definitely when they're back in school next week.
That's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, you decide when you want to work. It's so flexible. Like, I could decide to go on a spot. So Wednesdays are my day that I do my travel. on the Wednesday, I could go to a spa day because I could work in the evening. It's that flexible. So gone off on a little tangent there.
That's
but
fine.
That's where basically I started. So 2.5 years ago, booked me Disney trip, and then, still do my obviously normal day job.
Yeah.
Been able to drop a day. And that's where I am now.
Well, let's bring the ringleader into it then. So a bit about you, your background, Hannah.
So totally different really. In terms of totally different to my background, what I'm in now. So I obviously went to school, went to university, did criminology and psychology.
Oh, wow.
Then decided that I really didn't want to stay in education any longer. So sort of stepped out of that, didn't use my degree in terms of my day job. Gone on to be a project manager in IT. Love it. Brilliant. Really enjoyed it. Found out about the business probably about 3 years ago now. For me, 9 till 5's brilliant, don't get me wrong. Good pay, good allowances, good. I work flexi time in my job, so I can sort of almost pick and choose my hours slightly within reason. But I wanted something that literally would pay me in my sleep. And this business will pay me in my sleep. Whereas my 9 to 5 job, I've got to go to work to be paid, sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. You trade in time for money, essentially.
Yeah, and even down to having to ask someone, can I have leave? For me, I was just like, I just don't want that until I'm in my 70s. That was really starting to bother me.
Yeah.
So I found out about the business. To be fair, I sat on the business for a very long time. Found out about it on Instagram, same as quite a lot of people within our industry, and was just super sceptical.
Yes, of course.
Really sceptical.
Just before we go on to that, I want to ask you a question. I'm veering off on a tangent here a little bit, but just explain, obviously to everyone watching as well, how you obviously at the minute with your job, both of your jobs, you're trading time for money. And it's a big thing I always talk about on the channel, about how you should try and get away from trading your time for money, because money is infinite, but time is definitely finite in terms of what we've got. Very morbid, turned into a morbid podcast,
right,
but it's true though, isn't
it?
Just explain, because I think it's really good for people to understand sort of this business and how well you're both doing in terms of how you can actually get out of that sort of trading time for money. I think that'd be really good if you can.
100%. So where we are with our business, so at the moment, 9 till 5, and I never thought in a million years my side hustle would overtake that in terms of earning potential. I just thought at first, I was like, I just want £75 a month for my phone bill. That was literally what I started the business for.
You've got a good phone, yeah.
I remember my partner being like, well, you need about £40. I was thinking my phone bill's definitely more than £40.
Yeah.
But it was £75 for my phone bill. So I was like, that's what I wanna earn a month.
Right, okay.
And it just started to creep up. So with our business, in terms of trading time for money, our business is there's 2 businesses. You've got IntelliTravel, which is our travel company, where you book and sell travel and you earn commission back on any travel that you book, whatever you book, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for other people.
Okay.
We then have another business that you join, which works hand in hand with the travel agency, called PlanNet Marketing, which is a network marketing company.
Okay.
And I never really understood the power of residual income before I joined network marketing. And I think that for us, we get paid. When I say we get paid in our sleep,
you do.
We do. We literally do. And I think that not a lot of people, particularly in the UK, really understand how residual income works, how network marketing works, and people can be quite scared of it. But
it's something I mention on this channel all the time. It's passive income, essentially.
It's passive,
Yeah, and I'm a big believer in passive income. As soon as you can get that income to replace either your salary or, it might not even need to be a salary. It can be just sort of your living expenses.
Yeah.
You've cracked it. So are we both saying then that potentially a business like this can replace that, or has it replaced that?
So for me with mine, so I dropped a day. I joined when I was on maternity leave, and my goal was to drop a day. I wanted to be able, by the time I went back to work 12 months later, I wanted to be 4 days a week at my corporate job, but not feel that drop in pay. And I probably earn roughly very similar amount to what my corporate job is, and that's just going to continue to go, even though I'm going to be going on maternity leave in the next couple of months.
So you're still
going to get paid.
Project manager, IT firm, you've replaced essentially within what time periods you've replaced
2.5 years.
So it took you 2.5, but you've replaced that income.
Yes.
You've matched it, and you're going to exceed it given what you're doing.
Right, go much further. So my overall goal within the next, say 12 to 18, at the moment, because people always say, well, why are you still doing your corporate job, but you can't be doing that well in your side hustle? For me, I can do both. So
it's a good
right
question.
Now,
I want to dive into that actually. Why do you keep your corporate job? Because if it was me, straight away, when I started my business, I was just like,
I'm gone.
I started without any income. I just started it from, different story. But I mean, you've replaced that income.
Yeah.
Obviously, that income gets paid. Is it into a business account, into a personal account?
Yeah, into a business account.
Okay, so obviously, I'm not going to go into taxation. I don't give financial advice before anyone tries to sue me. But there's obviously tax benefits potentially for you there, as we sit in the UK. Why haven't you given it up?
So I think there's a couple of things. One, I am pregnant. So I'm going on maternity leave.
Congratulations.
And thank you very much. And my corporate job does give me 6 months full pay. I'll be out, for whilst I'm on maternity leave.
Yeah.
Then I'll obviously go to statutory. Then I will go unpaid. I do like the job that I do now. I actually do, in terms of project manager, I do have a little bit a passion for it really. But I think it is just that ripping the plaster off and going, I'm going to quit and I'm going to resign. And I just think we're so trained to go to university, get a job, work 9 till 5, do that.
By the end of this podcast, you will be quitting this job.
I'm going to be resigning.
Well, maybe after your maternity leave.
In my mind, I've got it in the next 12 to 18 months.
We're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a commitment from you on camera that you're going to quit after maternity leave.
She will.
So
she will.
I've got it in my mind. Yeah. I've got my freedom figure in my mind of.
You got a freedom figure in terms of a number that you want to hit before you. Okay, good.
I give up my full-time job.
Yeah, Hannah is the biggest planner. She has goals, plans, and it's brilliant. Hannah is my mentor as well. So she is brilliant in terms of, me getting the best out of you. You know what I mean? I would never, it sounds awful, but I would never have thought, like Hannah said there, that this could be something that I actually leave my transport manager role. Now, it's a family business, so we are in a bit of a different, different kind of
course it is, you feel maybe more obligated.
Very much so, because it is a family business. So you feel that you can't really step away because it's a lot of pressure on you, you know.
Absolutely.
And for everyone's job.
And everyone that works for you, of course.
It is a bit different, but the thought behind, for myself is to think that actually, one day, it might come that actually I'm able to do this. And I do, I've got to, commend Hannah. She's not obviously told me that, hey, leave your job. But I just mean as in actually going, you know what?
Are we getting you to commit leaving your job today? I'll tell you what, if we do that, we cracked it.
One day, definitely one day. I will not
So what would it take you to leave your job? Now, take the family situation out of it, because that's a non-monetary lever as such. So let's take that out of it. Let's say you don't work for a family business. So what would be, I'm not asking you what your actual freedom number is, but what would take you to leave it? Would it be match your income? Would it be, what would it be?
Match my income. If I'm honest, I would leave. If it wasn't a family business, I would leave tomorrow. I don't feel
that. Is that because you can financially? Because of what you're doing?
I probably would need that a little bit more.
Okay.
Basically we work in sort of directorships. I'm at 1-star director, Hannah's at 2-star. For me, if I got to 2-star directorship, I would be there financially. I would be okay. Sort of looking at our, bills and whatnot. So for me, it's 2-star director, which I am on, I'm on path for. As I said, Hannah is the most driven person that I know, honestly. I probably won't get there as fast as she did, but I will get there eventually.
Yeah, of course,
but again, that's what I mean. This business is so flexible. You can do it however, I'd say probably, and you'd agree with me, I've been quite organic in mine.
100%.
I started out with a 0 following. I didn't have, my Instagram was just, just a personal Instagram, probably like all of us.
Yeah.
Then I was I think I might, as we, I know it sounds awful, but as we all do kind of in this business, a lot of us do go, we'll decide to do a little Instagram page, and you think, because that's where obviously your contacts, your clients are going to be. I'll be dead honest with you. Most of my clients are my family and friends and people that I actually know, my warm network. I do have now obviously more, people from Instagram, but I wouldn't want anyone to think that they had to have an Instagram following or an Instagram page to make this work. You really don't.
Yeah.
You can literally think about the people that go on holiday. It's literally your school mum friends, your nursery mum friends, your mum, dad, your auntie, your uncle, your cousins, your friends.
Literally everyone.
Honestly, everybody goes on holiday. You can't, like,
So
that's the thing that we all work towards, isn't it?
As a product, as a side hustle then, I mean, it sounds like it's turned into a fully fledged business for you both, potentially.
Yeah.
Definitely you, and definitely you, by the way, after this podcast. But in terms of the actual side hustle itself, what we're trying to say is then there's a tangible product behind this. So
massively, yeah.
So, there's a product that you can sell, productize. I mean, it's productized by obviously the powers that be, but in terms of you actually giving that product to your family, to your friends, there's something there that you're actually selling. There's a platform, there's a portal. I mean, do you want to just go through in terms of, maybe it's a good time to talk about the actual product. So this is an online travel business, so I think we can all sort of guess what the product is, but do you want to go into what the actual product is?
And obviously anything I miss out, please join in. So yes, basically we have our own platform and we have access to 80 plus suppliers.
Right.
Now sometimes I think like 80 plus suppliers can seem a little bit overwhelming and people think, oh, that's a little bit too many. But what I'm saying is when we have 80 plus suppliers, we have people who do Lapland specifically. We have people who do LGBTQ holidays specifically. We have river cruises specific. So it's not as if you're searching 80 different suppliers. It's whatever.
Disney cruises.
Disney cruises, exactly.
Sign me up.
So it's a case of like, you're not having to look or sift through 80 suppliers because you know the type of, so like if you're looking for a staycation, you're looking at host seasons, you're looking at different, other suppliers that we have available for your staycations and that kind of thing.
So obviously both your side hustle ends, that covers a full range of different holidays, different travel. Obviously you can do flights as well.
Yeah, cruises. It's like even your activities that you're doing with your kids, like this summer. I booked to go to Legoland in Manchester Trafford Centre. Yeah. And it comes with Legoland and Sea Life Aquarium. It was the same price as to what I was going to be paying online on their website, but I got 15% commission. And I know it sounds daft, but it was like £76. Like it's still,
it's money.
At the end of the day, it's money these days. Like no one's got like just money just to throw away. No. So at the end of the day, every little helps. It really does. Days out. And another thing, like I've just literally yesterday come back from Mallorca in Palma Nova. Yeah. There's a little show that they do over there called Pirates. It's actually not little, it's quite big, especially in Mallorca. And I contacted them and was like, I am my own travel agent. I've got my own Instagram page. I would definitely recommend because I have been this show before. Right. Any discounts? 30% off. You think to yourself, it's just like, I know it sounds daft, but just like the little things that you don't necessarily have to be booking like massive big holidays for this to work.
No, not at all.
It can just be like little activities that you decide to go on, the savings that you can make.
If we're talking sort of commission numbers, rough numbers, by the way, because I know it can differ. So if I'm booking a hotel room in London, for example, what's the average sort of commission rates that we're talking then? Obviously, I know it's going to be higher and lower. I get all that, but roughly speaking.
So with our suppliers, they range from 8 to 18%, but I would say average 10%.
Okay, so it's an average 10%. Yeah. So if you're booking me a 1,500 quid room at the Dorchester in London.
Yeah, it's 150 quid.
It's 150 quid?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, so you could literally, this side hustle then, if you could, and we'll come on to sort of the second part of it in a second, how you can make this a success, but you can literally do it where you're booking a lot of holidays for people. Obviously, like you said, the postman, as I said, the people in the school playground. And I suppose if you're averaging 10%, if we work on 10%, you could make it easy, make an extra 400 or 500 quid a month by booking 4 or 5 grand worth of travel. Which, if you think about it from a holiday perspective,
average summer holidays can be like 5k for a family.
That's what I mean.
Like,
family of 4, easy. If you go somewhere like Florida or something, it's probably even more potentially.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you're doing 4 or 5 grand a month, then you're going to be getting sort of, let's go with 10%. That could be 500 quid a month as an extra, extra in your pocket. So that's definitely, really good. Yeah. That's just obviously the first way of building.
And even if you decided that actually, time wise, I can't be there looking at like all-inclusive holidays or like that's not really what I want, because don't get me wrong, with all-inclusive holidays, I do find that the likes of EasyJet, Jet2, TUI are very competitive. So, for example, we have Jet2 as one of our suppliers now, and obviously can earn commission back on that, which is brilliant.
Fantastic.
It's just. But what I was going on to say was, if you decided that actually, do you know what? I don't really want to be booking all-inclusive holidays for people. You could just do like one-night stays in city breaks. So London, Chester, Dubai, New York, whatever it is that you... And honestly, that platform that we use for that, like that supplier, is so simple. It's an app.
So I suppose, we'll come on to that as well. So I suppose what I'm trying to get into for people watching this is the first way to, if you're starting out from today, what you can literally do, if we work on the 10% rule to make it easier for everyone, if you're netting 2-3 grand a month in your job today, or if you're part-time less, then let's say to cover 2 grand, you need to book 20 grand's worth of travel in one way or another as a rough rule of thumb to replace that income, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. And that obviously can be arranged from, like you said, booking hotels in, New York, Dubai, package holidays, whatever it is. So that can be sort of what I'm trying to say, then I was looking to start this today, that can be their goal.
Yeah, definitely,
if you want to hit 2 grand, we'll come on to the second way you can do it as well.
Of course.
To hit that 20K, and then you get 2, and then you can get 2 grand a month.
And like genuinely, like let's be honest, like Hannah said there, you're looking average 4 or 5K. If you're going to do a package holiday, it's around about 4 or 5K anyway. Sometimes you'll get better deals, but let's be honest, if you're looking at like your summer holidays, your Easter, October breaks, they're going to be around about that. For like for a 4 or 5 star hotel, if that's kind of what you're looking at. Yeah. So all you'd need to do book is like what 4 or 5 of those, 4 or 5 of those in the month.
People will have like a different niche. So some people will say, I'm going to exclusively book honeymoons for people. I'm going to specialize. My niche is going to be honeymoons. Well, realistically, honeymoons probably going to be one of the most expensive holidays people go on. So it could be 10 grand, it could be 20 grand, whatever it is. So some people, or they'll say like, I want to do a multi-center trip, or I'm just going to do Maldives specialists. So we have so much training and just support from the company, and then obviously whoever you have as your mentor will obviously go on to support you as well. But you can make that money quite quickly.
So I suppose you use a great term for like a freedom number. So I suppose really if you're going to do this, or any side hustle, in general, but if you're going to do this particular side hustle, get your freedom number and then extrapolate it backwards. So if your freedom number's 2 grand, that's 24K a year.
What do you need to be
booking 240 on your own. Yeah. But obviously that leads us on to the second part of it. So how else can you said about 1-star, 2-star directors. So how else can you make money from this? Maybe ask you.
So obviously, Michaela's covered off like the travel side. That is the product that we sell.
Okay.
Then you've got your network marketing side, which is plan net marketing, which is basically, and I sort of fell into this and you fell into it as well, didn't you really? Because obviously we're booking our own travel, we're earning money back. For me, I see that as a subscription that pays me. Yeah, it pays me to be a part of that subscription. Nothing else pays me. Netflix doesn't pay me. Gusto doesn't pay me. But
David Lloyd doesn't pay you.
David Lloyd doesn't pay you. Let's get really skinny.
Rubs me blind.
But so people was just starting to ask me questions. So they'd be like, well, how have you managed to do that? Or how you managed to earn that money back on whatever you're booking? Yeah. So the network marketing side of the business is basically sharing it with people, showing people how they can create better lives for themselves, for their families, how they can travel more, how they can earn more, how they can experience more, and introducing them to the business. You obviously take on the role as then their mentor, and you would mentor them through the process, but you are basically, and I quite like the phrase, like a business in a box. This is a business in a box.
Business in a box, I like that.
You're literally handing someone the business, you're handing them the platform, you're handing them the ability to earn an uncapped amount of income. Yeah. But people have just got to put the work in.
I'm going to nick that, business in a box. I'm definitely.
That's what we've got. Yeah, 100%.
For a small startup thing. But then obviously, so the network marketing side, you basically earn from introducing people to the business. So you earn a one-off fee. You also earn residual income every single month. So for however many people in your team, you get $4 a month per person. That obviously at first you go, I've got 3 people on my team. I'm earning $12. Woohoo! But if you have 4,000 people in your team, then suddenly that figure is massively jumping up.
Yeah. So let's conceptualize this then. So it's $4 a person. You've got your travel. You've got your directorships, which we'll talk about in a minute. So I just want people who are watching this to, and we'll go into sort of how you started. You started it, and sort of how it's hard to build a social media following. We'll go into all that because that's obviously giving people value in terms of how they can start building this business for themselves today. But let's go to that. So it's $4 a person. Okay. So if you have 400 in your team, and I'm using that because I think you have 400, okay, so that's $1,600.
Yes.
My conversion isn't great, but we're going to say that's 1,200 quid a month.
Roughly, yeah.
Okay, so that's 1,200 quid a month. Plus you booking travel if you want to. Obviously,
if you want to,
now
you
don't
that.
book as much travel today, which we'll come on to. So there's 1,200 a month coming in, and then you've got your directorship.
Then you get your director bonus at the beginning of every month. So there's like different sort of like levels within the business. 1-star director is 100 people in your organisation. Yeah. Now we're not saying you have to personally bring in those 100 people.
Okay.
So I've got 400 people in my organisation. I have personally introduced 193, but Michaela's brought in 100 nods. That adds to my numbers.
That goes to your number.
Lily and my team, other people within my team have brought people in.
The people that come into your team, if they bring in, that goes to your overall number.
That goes to my overarching number. Yeah. So then when you do hit directorships, you get one-off bonuses on the beginning of every month, guaranteed as long as you maintain that figure. Right. So 1-star director, you've got $500 bonus. 2-star director, you've got $1,000, and it just
you're 2-star. So I'm getting into nitty gritty. What she's saying there, by the way. Everyone's going to want to hear this. So if you're going to get people to join this is what they're going to hear. So 2-star, which is $1,000, which is about £800, let's say. Yeah. You've got your other one, which is $1,200, which is for the $4 per person. Yeah. So
that's before I get out of bed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
That's making money in my sleep.
They both are, aren't they? Yeah. So you've got essentially £2,000, $2,500 per month coming in, and that's without people booking holidays underneath you as well.
Anyone booking travel, including myself. That's without anyone in my team, including myself, signing new people up to the business. Yeah. Because obviously you get your one-off payments for that. And your commission overrides, as we mentioned before. So you touched upon the fact that I don't book.
You don't book.
I don't book travel for people. Yeah. I started off thinking maybe I'd try it, and then I was just like, "Whoa, there's just too much stuff going on in my life." But obviously the opportunity is there for me to do it. If I do quit my full-time job, when I do quit my full-time job, I might then go, actually, I can't book holidays for people. But at the moment now, I focus fully on my team. I want them to be set up.
Let's focus on the team then. So we're at £2,000, $2,500. So on average, your team, I appreciate this can fluctuate because of some holidays potentially, but on average across a month, how much are they booking in travel, roughly?
Across the 400 people?
Across the 400.
It's difficult to say, isn't it?
Or we can talk straight commission if you want. I'm trying to get to a number here.
Yeah, let's maybe talk straight commission, because that'll be your figure.
Right, okay.
So for the people that you personally introduce to the business, once you hit Goal Builder, which is just 9 people that you've personally introduced to the business, you then start to receive a 10% commission override on any travel that they book as well. Yeah. So in 1 month, I could earn £1,000, it could be £400, it could be whatever. Roughly, I would probably say a month, it's probably about £800.
On top of everything else
we've discussed.
So, sorry. So we've got 1,200, which we've got 800, and then another 800, haven't we? So we're talking nearly 3,000 UK pounds a month, which is roughly around $3,500. Yeah. And how long does it take you to get there?
2.5 years.
2.5 years, okay. Yeah. And that's obviously replacing your income, coming into your bank, and for all that as well, you're not getting out of bed. You're not trading your time. I'm not trying to get. This is what I'm trying to get to. You're not trading your time for money.
Not asking anyone for annual leave.
Exactly. Yeah. And all you're doing really is obviously maintaining these social media pages, reaching out to people, doing Zoom calls, which I'm sure will come on to this. Doing Zoom calls with people and doing a bit of training,
mentoring people.
So you essentially everyone within your team's doing the hard yards as such for you. Okay. And that's really important as a sort of a basis for this conversation, that it shows you after 2.5 years, you can actually replace your income at work. If you want it. Obviously, it takes time.
One, if you want it, and two, I think if you work for it.
Yeah, it's not, as I said, it's not quick. Like it's not a quick, what do they call it? Get rich quick scheme at all. It's taken Hannah 2.5 years. People in the business have been working on this business for like 5 years. They've retired themselves now. Like literally, they know that they're bringing in however much money, however many people they've got in their team, and obviously the residual. Yeah. And they've gone, do you know what? That's fine for me, because I know my numbers are always going to grow every month. I'm retiring now. Yeah. And that's fine. Like that's what you would want to do. That's fine. But you've got to give yourself a goal to get to. Do you know what I mean? But it's taking you 2.5 years to get there, which is absolutely brilliant.
That's the reason why I asked you ladies to jump on, which I appreciate you jumping on, by the way. But the reason I asked you is because obviously I've done the video on the 5 best side hustles that can make you over $1,000 a month. And I think what's really good about this is it's flexible.
Mm-hmm. So flexible.
Because around, your kids, your job.
Yeah.
Not for long, but kids definitely, family,
just life
in general. And I think for people...
And it's fun as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like travel is fun. Like, I think no one's going, I'm selling like gas and electricity, which, fair enough. That's great if you want to do that, but it's not very fun,
but I think it's great. I think what's also great is not everyone watching this might want to build their own, because obviously we'll go into it as well about how you got the business off the ground and side hustle off the ground, but not everyone's going to want to maybe build a team like you two have done, which is fine. But what I want to get into eventually is how you can make, some people might want to make, say, $500 a month, £350 a month, because that might pay for their holiday to wherever they go in the summer as a side hustle, which we will definitely come on to. But before we come on to that, I just want to ask sort of what were the first steps that you took to get it off the ground? So maybe start with Hannah, because obviously you started this first. So how did you, obviously you've got into it through Hannah, as we discussed. How did you get into it and what did you do to get it off the ground to start with?
So for me, in terms of getting into it, I mentioned a little bit earlier, like I was super skeptical about this business because you see things on Instagram and you go, is it a scam? Is it real? Like what are these people actually doing?
Is it a scam?
I can assure you, Alan, it's not. I'm not in jail yet. Let's just say. So absolutely not. So I felt really bad at the beginning because I'd sort of not given it the time of day, and numerous people had spoke to me and said, like, would you be interested in this? I love going on holiday. I love doing whatever. And I just really want to earn money, basically. So I had a social media following beforehand. So I have a house renovation account, and that's how I sort of first found out about the business. There was other people in that sort of Instagram realm who did it. I then set up a travel page. I wanted to dedicate a travel page that was just for that, so I wasn't boring people on like Instagram when they didn't want to hear about my holidays. Fair enough. And I then, for me, the biggest thing with this business is being consistent. You have got to speak about the business, and
how often?
Daily.
Yeah, 100%.
Anything on Instagram, I think, is daily, because if you watch the people who watch like your stories, they look at your grid posts, it's not the same people seeing it every single day. No. So if you forget to post something, it's so easy to forget to post, and then all of a sudden a month's gone by and you haven't actually worked on your business. So you've got to be, I think the biggest thing for me is you've just got to be so consistent. I can honestly say over the past 2.5 to 3 years, I've been really consistent, which has paid off.
Of course.
And where you see other people who aren't necessarily consistent and the businesses just drop. It's so easy to drop off. But I'd say for me, I just spoke about the business all the time. Everyone knows that I do it, or I want as many people to know that I do it as possible, so that people can connect with me as well. And I just think, just be you. Yeah. Because someone's going to connect to you. Someone will connect to me more than they'll connect to Michaela, and vice versa.
To get off the ground, then it's just consistency.
Just consistency. Just
putting
where
out there,
speaking.
Posting. Because I know you do it in your car. You just hello, just what we've done today, which is dead easy. You've got a phone, £75 a month phone, from what you told us earlier. So
you need to be going to Alan for that.
You need a good, come to me, Chilty Comms, check it out. But little plug on my own podcast, YouTube video there. But no, but you can literally have your phone in your car.
It's talking to people. It's a conversation.
It's just talking.
Yeah. I'll be getting my nails done, getting my hair done.
And you're telling people about it?
You're telling people about it. You're telling people about what holiday you're going on, how that you booked it yourself, how that whatever.
And you know that like definitely people are listening, because you get, and I love the comment when people go, how's that little travel thing doing? And you're like, it's all right, And like, I'm not one to like go on, do you know what I mean? Like, I would just go, oh yeah, it's great, thanks. And then if people ask me questions, I'll tell them about it, and they're like, are you making much money from it? And you're like, yeah, I really am. Like, thanks for asking. I really am. Yeah, I mean, when
so how much you're making from it then?
I'd say about.
So you're doing very well.
Yeah, doing very well.
So you've got 100 people.
Yeah, I've got 100 people. 125 actually.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
We're gonna have 25.
Yeah. 125.
Yeah.
As I said, I do book a lot of travel for people.
You're quite hands-on still, aren't you? Which is interesting.
Yeah, it is. And I guess in a way, like, I like booking travel for people. Like, that was how I started, how I got into it. And like, at the end of the day, that is the business that we've got there. And I want to make sure that I know the ins and outs of the
product,
platform and the product that we've got. And I'm very much a learner. I have to do it to know. You can retain information like there's no tomorrow, even if you're not necessarily using it daily. I have to do it to know what I'm talking about. And I think that's, obviously I find that. Then obviously when
the good thing is we've got sort of two contrasting models here, in a sense, where you've got hands off but build a team, which is what I've done a video on, like the art of delegation. And I think what you've done is you've delegated very, very well to other people, which has allowed you to grow. And if you delegate more, you will grow. In anything. You are delegating, but you're a little bit more hands on, probably because you like being more hands on. But that potentially could be, you could probably, if you delegated even more, you could probably grow even more. But I don't think I don't think with this side hustle there's a right or wrong answer.
100%.
That's why it's flexible.
From what we're talking about here, there's two different models really. You're a bit of a hybrid, I think.
I am, yeah.
You're a hybrid.
I'm quite
you're
unusual.
You're a delegator and you're a delegator.
Yeah.
So, and it's really good for people to hear this, that,
you can be either.
You can be either.
Yeah.
And
you can
earn,
be either, or you can be both.
You know,
you can just literally do whatever. You don't have to be part of the marketing business. You can literally just book travel.
You
for
can just
people.
book travel.
That's absolutely
book a
fine
holiday,
as well.
Book a family holiday a month, and you're getting free 400 quid, aren't
exactly,
you?
Yeah, and that's for me, like money wise, for me, for me and my family.
Yeah.
I just don't have to touch my wage. Do you know what I mean? Like my wage now is savings for us. Like everything that I get in this business, it's like paying for, obviously don't get me wrong, when I say I'm not touching my wage, okay, I'm paying for the bills and stuff like my mortgage and, you know, my utilities and whatnot. But I mean as in like, I'm not using my wage to pay for the kids' uniform.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it to take them for days out. You know, for example, we wanted to book, flights for somewhere. Like I was able to do all that myself out of our money that I've made from this business without having to budget on my wage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So like, I'm just not touching my wages for like that kind of stuff anymore.
Well, I've got a great YouTube video on 7 smart investments for your paycheck.
I've watched it.
So you've watched it, great.
Yeah.
That means everyone else should as well, by the way. But yeah, you can see a link to it now. But yeah, no, that's really good. But I just want to get into obviously balancing your for the time being, your full-time jobs with this. Because I think that's really important. People are watching going, is it loads of time? Just, maybe Hannah, if you can just tell me how you currently you're working 4 days a week.
Yes, I work.
Is it 4 days a week you're doing?
Yeah.
You do 4
You're both doing 4 days, so it's
Yeah.
quite good. So maybe both explain how you balance it.
So for me, I work Monday to Thursday, roughly 9 till 5, just because I drop Jensen off at whether he's in my mum's or whether he's in nursery of a morning. Come back, log on for 9, tend to log off roughly around 5 o'clock.
Okay.
I will take a lunchtime. And I'll go to the gym on my lunch normally. So I normally take 45 minutes, I'll go to the gym. When I am in the gym, I am on my phone. I'm replying to messages. I'll be on the treadmill. I'll be on a stepper. I will try and do as much as I can within that 45 minutes.
The benefit of being a woman, that multitasking, by the way.
We're just the best at it, to be honest with you.
Fellas can't do it. No, but yeah.
So I will multitask with that. I'll be messaging people. I'll be replying to messages on Instagram, replying to my team, because my team will be asking me questions about stuff, checking in with the girls, seeing what's happening. Then obviously I then go and pick Jensen up. We'll do whatever. He goes to bed, and I am sort of quite strict with bedtimes between 7 and 8. Okay. That then is my business time. So last night, for example, I had a call with one of my team who's just wrapped up. I was on that call with her on Zoom 8 till 8:30. I jumped on another Zoom 8:30 till roughly around 9:15. I don't eat my tea until 9:30, 10 most nights. Like that is literally when I have my tea. I'm a night owl though. Yeah, so I will.
Even before this business.
You're not just following Alistair's intermittent fasting schedule there.
Definitely not. He's on his third tea by the time I'm mine.
Yeah.
But for me, it's my nighttime, and I think that's what a lot of people go, you need loads of time.
Yeah, of course.
I have people in my team who can't take their phones into work with them. So they're literally not working on their business at all throughout the day. So they will get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. They might work 6 till 7 on the business, and then they'll crack on over night time. And I think both businesses, so the travel side and the network marketing side, I think this is probably why there is a lot of women in it who are mums. It is so flexible. It's so flexible. So I will message people at 12 o'clock at night, because if I'm still up, then someone's going to read that message, whether it's 7 o'clock in the morning or whether they read it at 3 o'clock in the morning, they're going to pick the message up. So for me, I'm more nighttime.
You're a night owl.
In terms of working it in around my day job.
You could do it early. You could do
whatever you want.
Whatever works for you. Like for me, I just found that I would. So obviously, once I booked my Disney trip, and I thought that was, if I'm honest, I thought that's the best thing about this business as well, is there is no contracts. So it just however long it lasts, it lasts. You know, like if you want to finish it because you're not traveling, your circumstances change, whatever it may be, you can come out of it. There's no contract. So I thought to myself when I booked my Disney trip, that was it. However, it obviously then sort of organically grew. Yeah. And I often was just sat there watching rubbish on television, like absolute rubbish. Scrolling. Or just watching rubbish. And I thought to myself, this is the time actually that I could be booking holidays for people, or people joining the team and showing them how to book the holidays for themselves. So it's the time where actually now, and I've got loads of people who joined the team since then, and they said, oh yeah, that's what I was doing. I was just watching the telly for like watching the telly's sake, rather than actually going, I could be making some money here. Do you know what I mean? And that's where I think you just got to kind of sit down and like evaluate. Don't get me wrong, we all have to have some time out. I get that. You know, you do have to have some downtime. But if that's every night, literally for like from 8 till 10, watching let's be honest, rubbish on the television.
Yeah, you may as well do that.
What are you actually gaining? What are you gaining every night by doing that? Like, what, just to try to escape
reality?
Escape reality. Like, no, you don't need to do that. Why don't you make money in those 2 hours by booking holidays for people or showing other people how to join and do it for themselves, and move away from the reality that you don't really like?
When did you realise that it could be sort of like a sustainable income source, or you could actually make money from it? How long was it from you had the conversation with Hannah and you had a cup of tea and you went, yeah, I'm gonna give this a go, here's me 140 quid, whatever it was? So how long did it take for you to actually realise it? Because we're all skeptical of things when we start things, right?
Of course.
But how long did it take you to go, actually?
So from the 2 different businesses, from the travel business, I would probably say once I hit like £100,000 worth of sales, as in like travel sales, as in like I'm not going out cold calling people asking them to book a holiday with me. They're coming to me and asking me to book the holiday. Once I'd hit like 100,000, I was like, actually, like, that's like, and that happened relatively quite quick as well. That came like probably within the first 6 months, maybe less.
Wow.
And I was a bit like, wow, okay. So, and then again, it grows, it sort of like grows momentum, and then you just carry on and you're like, oh yeah. And then September and January are the biggest months for booking travel, because September people have come back from the holidays and gone, need to get myself sorted for the new year, for like the next summer holiday. Or come January, I honestly, the 2 years that I've been in this business, I have never stopped every night of January. Now you don't have to do that. I am, because I'm greedy and I want that money. So I'm like, every night, of course I'll book. I was booking holidays for people every night. Wow. And honestly, it was like the biggest month for me on both years. So 23 and 24. In terms of building a team, where I then realised actually it could be like, it could be sustainable for an income, like solely, was when I hit 1 star. I thought, actually, you know what, this has got real potential. And I, in a way, took it seriously, I'd say at that point, because I was like, before I was, and we've been dead honest about it, and we've had a bit of a laugh about it. I was winging it, I was literally just winging it, going, oh yeah, like, if you want to join the team, you can. Because again, it sounds awful, but like for me, I could either book somebody a holiday and earn, say, £300 in commission, or I could have someone join a team and make $4. So it was kind of like, which one do you want to do? And I appreciate that looks more like sort of inviting for starters, but long term, sort of that's going to come and go once. This is coming every month for me, like literally every month. That's where you're getting paid without, having to get out of bed, like you said before. So that's where you kind of go, oh, and for me, I just think when I'm booking travel with people, I always say, like, listen, I'll be really transparent on the commission side, because I don't want to look like I'm robbing anybody. I want to be like, listen, this is how it is. I'll put everything on the table. I could book you the holiday and I will earn this much commission, or you could join yourself and book it and earn this commission. Really up to you, however you want to, however you want to play it. So I've been upfront with someone, and then they'll decide then, which way is the best way for them. They might go, oh, I'm doing 1 trip this year and that's it for me. But I always say, don't forget about your warm network, your family, your friends. Where are they going? Like, that's where you could then start monetizing it, that kind of thing.
Maybe if I can ask you a question each then, given you both hybrids and delegation, as we said before. So how did you get your first customers, should we call them, to book travel with you? And then how did you get your first people on board, if that makes sense? So maybe if I start with you on that, how did you do it?
So obviously I'd booked my Disney trip, which I've mentioned 3 times already in this podcast, and I probably talked about it 300,000 times in real life. And I was just telling the school mums, like, genuinely just go, listen to this, telling them, I've just booked this trip, say 5,000 compared to another agency, and I'm going to get this much commission. Yeah. And they were like, oh, right, cool. Like, what is it that you're doing? And she was like, I'm going to New York in December over Christmas. Would you book for me?
Brilliant.
Well, obviously I'm nervous as we all are. That's just, by the way, just disclaimer, we are all nervous when we are doing our first bookings. Like, honestly, it is nervous.
Don't get it wrong.
Yeah. And that's why you've got to pick your mentor. You've got to pick them right, because they're going to hold your hand like throughout it. They're going to say, like, listen, this is what you need to do. This is what you can do. This is what, this might happen. This, this is the best way to do this. Yeah. There's loads of little scenarios that could possibly go on.
There's no need to be nervous, but obviously naturally you're going to be nervous.
It's just like, we're all humans, aren't we? But it's super easy once you've done it. And we give like the guidance and the pointers, like once you've booked a hotel for someone, email the hotel.
Yeah,
just
too
because
late. Yeah,
you've then, your anxiety is completely gone. Like you then can say, right, I feel so much better. I know that they've got the booking and everything's going to be fine once they turn up. Go to sleep and you've not got to worry about it. That's what I always say. So yeah, that's basically how it happened for me. I was just telling one of the mums, and she's a really close friend actually, and she's joined the business since, obviously, because she was like, oh, okay, so you got like £800 commission for that trip. And I was like, yeah, I did. And it was quite simple, really. And then she just watched me for a while and then went, do you know what? Yeah, I'll do it as well.
Yeah.
And she has now, she's booking, trips left, right and centre for her family. But that was my first booking for New York over Christmas.
Amazing. So mine, obviously slightly different, because I had a lot of people message me and say, can you book travel for me? And I was like, no, but I can show you how to book travel yourself.
Yeah.
Or I will pass quotes on to
Michaela.
people in my team, because obviously I'm going to earn 10% of Michaela's commission.
Because of the commission override.
So I was very much along those lines. I'll be honest, I did offer to book people's travel affairs, and then I got bombarded with a few quotes and I was like, whoa, this isn't for me. I can't keep up.
No.
I can't be that organised. So I joined the business solely to book my own travel. I wanted to know it worked before I started to speak about it.
Yeah.
Just because I'd thought it was a scam for that long. I wanted the proof in the pudding, really, to see it. Going on holiday, that hotel was going to be standing. I was going to be in a bed when I got there. I wanted to know it was okay. Once I'd done that, for me, then it was speaking to people about it. So for me to get my customers, shall we say, if we're going to use that term, for me, it was just showing people how that they could do exactly the same as what I'm doing, how they can earn an income, how they could potentially change their lives. I think that's one thing I love about the mentoring side is seeing Michaela drop a day in work, seeing that she's potentially going to be able to quit her full-time job. Obviously a little bit hard because it's a family business, but I've got other people in the team who are taking career breaks and they're dropping days, and that's because I've introduced them to the business.
Yeah,
so for me, I think it's probably more around that. But for me, it was just talking to people, telling people why they should do it.
Well, it was like one of our girls in our team, Kate, she basically bought her house and then all of the mortgage rates went up, and she was doing a renovation, and it just basically, it was a nightmare for her. It really was. And she had then obviously quite big overdrafts that she had to pay off.
Yeah, of course.
And watching her, she's in my direct team, watching her, because at first, be dead honest, first month, first 30 days, she came to me and said, I don't really know, I've not really booked much, and I've not really had much traction. People aren't really asking me. And I'm like, it's 30 days in, hun. Just give yourself a second. Any business starting up, you're not going to know everything within those first 30 days. Even if you just start a job, you're not going to know everything in the first 30 days. It's just part and parcel of learning about the business.
You're not going to get success normally in the first 30 days.
Exactly.
Normally.
But we are very much a breed now of instant gratification, and people want everything like that. They want it there now. Yeah. Give yourself a bit of time. If you are going to look to start any type of business, you are going to have to just give yourself that little bit of time just to see how it works.
Yeah.
Anyway, go back to Kate. She said that to me. She went, I've not really had many bookings. She is flying now. Seeing her now, for example, and I don't think she'd mind me saying.
Sorry to interrupt you. So her model is
she does do
model.
the same as us. She does do. She's a hybrid like me.
She's a hybrid.
She's another hybrid. Yay. Yeah. But she does absolutely loves booking travel for people.
How are you going to use that in your sales pitches? Hybrid or delegator, by the way. Do a hybrid or delegator. And you can,
pick one.
Which one do you want to be?
Well, you can progress, can't you? Or you can, but
But she is a hybrid now, but she loves booking travel. And for her, in her mind, she said that she wanted to continue booking the travel because she was seeing at first the big commissions come back, and that was paying off loads of her overdraft. And to see, I know it sounds a bit daft, obviously, Hannah's saying their career breaks, dropping days in work, and that's absolutely massive. But seeing someone where they've got themselves in a bit of a sticky situation in mortgage issues, then changing that, because at the end of the day, they are both, her and her husband are both physios in the NHS.
Okay.
Now, let's be honest, that's going to just stay there. You're not going to rapidly increase your wage, but now seeing that this side hustle has been able to actually bring in.
It's bridged the gap, hasn't it?
It's bridged the gap,
bridged the
massively.
gap essentially from, it's good, mortgage has gone up by £300 a month, let's say.
I think it doubled.
Okay, well, even worse then. So it's doubled, and, and using figures, £1,000 a month, it's gone to 2,000, and that's bridged the gap between that.
And seeing someone...
And what time period was that?
So she started with me in April 23. And we're now in 18 months.
Okay.
18 months. She's
And how
done
long
that.
did it take her to bridge the gap? Because obviously she's come to you and said that. So
I'd say about 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah,
she's
4
bridged the
months
gap.
where then she went, oh, actually, do you know what? Like Hannah said, consistency. You have to be present.
Social
do you know
media.
what I mean? But what I don't want to contradict myself and say that you have to have a
No,
social
yeah,
media
yeah.
page, because you don't. What I mean is, even if you're consistent with your message when you're talking to your family and for your friends,
Yeah.
you know, like I have a girl who's in my team as a hairdresser, and she doesn't want to book travel for people, but she tells every client about this business, because when you are hairdressing, like, and
Someone's
you
going
know,
on
beauty,
holiday.
So she's a delegator, is she?
she's a delegator only, yeah.
So she'll get people to sign up.
Yeah.
And they'll and then
Yeah.
maybe will they jump on one of your
Yeah,
calls?
so
Yeah,
they'll jump on my
They'll jump on a
calls.
Zoom
Yeah.
call you do monthly.
Yeah.
You discuss how the book stuff, any
Exactly,
challenge
yeah.
you face, what works well, what doesn't work well, and she'll delegate it to you, and people just sign up because
Yeah,
of that.
because she said that,
Amazing.
like, you know, at the end of the day, what does, you know, like when you're hairdressing or if you're doing any beauty sort of, what's your conversation mostly about? Holidays, or what have you got on next month?
Spending
or,
money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spending money basically.
Yeah.
So she's like, she just does that. So it's that's why it's so flexible, and there's so many varied sort of careers. So
Yeah.
you've got hairdressers, you've got physios, you've got solicitors, you've got accountants, you've got teachers, you've got head teachers. Like, it's massive. It's absolutely such a range of people. And you know
I
what?
think hairdresser's a great idea because of
Oh, it is.
yeah.
Anyone in
You know,
beauty.
if you've got a good client and you've got a good
Yeah,
following, and people just
100%.
come in and you chat
If you're
about it.
speaking, like,
And she's not putting it on her Instagram. Like, she doesn't have
No,
an
she doesn't
Instagram.
need to.
No.
She just talks about it.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying, you know, don't.
How
want
does she?
to-
Sorry, I'm going to get quite salesy, but how does she close people to sign up?
So she basically will put them in a three-way with myself. So I've got the knowledge
the
of the
phone?
travel, yeah, or on WhatsApp,
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
Yeah, whatever way works.
Oh, so
best,
she'll be
really.
doing the hair. Oh, speak to Michaela.
Yeah. She'll just say, oh, we'll throw each other in. So I'll throw you in a three-way with my mentor who introduced me to the business.
Right.
She's booked this much amount of travel. And that's where obviously I'll come in with my travel knowledge and be like, oh yeah, like, you know, what is it that you're looking for? Like,
Yeah.
you know, how can we help and that kind of thing.
Fantastic.
And then that's where then people will go, oh yeah, do you know what? I'll have a go. And the best thing is you get 30 days to trial it out. You know, 30 days to trial it out to see if this business works for
Yeah.
you. If it doesn't, you walk away, you
Just
get your
going
money back.
Going back to the, she's a master delegator in my opinion. This lady we were
is.
talking about,
Yeah.
which I love that. But so talking about this model then, so you're a hairdresser, you do nails, you do beauty, whatever you do, and you walk alive. You're speaking to people, aren't you? So you know, coming off the street. So speaking to them, she's got a link you can send out to people that they can just, you know, they
Just
can
like an
join.
online form,
There's the joining fee. There's then a free 30-day trial.
30 days trial, yeah.
30-day
Money
trial.
back guarantee.
They sign up. They might join one of your calls because you're all part of the same team. Because,
Yeah.
Because it's sort of, it's like a domino effect in a sense. And then whatever travel is booked for these people who are doing it, you all get paid on essentially.
Only the direct.
So you'll get paid on the actual travel, but that goes towards your number of recruiting people.
yes, it goes to my $4 a month.
It goes to your so you get your $4 a month, and also if you hit the next director threshold, that's
You're
going to
getting
go
that
towards
bonus again.
Getting that
Yeah.
bonus again.
Yeah, so if say her name's Hayley, so we can put a name to her face.
Make sure she's watching.
She will. So Hayley brings somebody into the business because she knows that they're actually going on 5 holidays a year, and it just makes sense for them. So she'll bring them in. So whatever holidays they book, she will earn.
Hayley will earn the 10%.
She will earn the 10% commission override. Not me.
Not you, but just
Hayley.
because it's one step.
Just one step, yeah. But she will go to the numbers. So
She'll go to
again,
your overall.
yeah, your overall
direct,
numbers, yeah, which is where you get your $4.
You fall done,
Yeah.
but also more than that for me, it's when you hit your next levels of directorship
Yeah,
as
It's
well.
your
exactly,
next
yeah.
bonus.
Yeah.
It's adding to that. No, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't think of it that way, to be honest with you, in terms of how that could work. But she is a master delegator, essentially.
She is, yeah. And at the end of the day, she's using my knowledge because I'm the one who's booking the travel, and I know the ins and outs of the different, parts of the product. But at the same time, I don't speak to hair people every day because she's the hair, she's doing the hair of these people. So they're not my market because I wouldn't be able to get to them because they wouldn't know me. Whereas she is, but at the end of the day, she's benefiting and I'm benefiting.
Yeah. So obviously, I know we've mentioned that you don't need to use social media. Obviously, that's a prime. Hayley doesn't have social media, does she?
No, she doesn't.
Maybe if she did, she'd be.
She's got a hair social media.
She needs to get on there as well. But what role has social media plays for you two from a delegator perspective and from a hybrid perspective? So we'll start with you, Hannah.
So social media's fully made my business.
Okay.
I've I've built my business on social media.
Through that consistency we talked about.
Through that consistency, I'm literally, I'm a bit of a reviewer, aren't I? And at the end of like every month and every year, I will like review what I've done on social media, review how my business has been, I'll assess goals.
How do you review? Sorry, this sounds really stupid, I suppose, in some way. But when you review, it's quite a broad term. That's how do you conduct a review?
So in terms of social media, I will literally go on my socials, and you can go into your insights and your archive for your stories and see how many. Whether you've been on your stories every day.
We're talking Instagram here.
We're talking Instagram, yeah. So Instagram is the main social media platform for me. And I remember looking in 2023, and there was 2 days in the whole 365 because I think it was a leap year.
So surprised.
that I wasn't on my Instagram. Like,
as in logging in?
No, as in like on my story.
Okay.
I never had my story blank.
It's not very consistent.
Those 2 days. Don't actually know what happened in those 2 days.
That's so
unusual.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them, maybe I was having a baby. Maybe. Like, that was
I'll let you off for that one.
But yeah, like you've just... Social media, for me, as I say, social media, I've got everything to that. It's a free advertising tool.
I agree.
Like, I think, you don't need one. You definitely don't need a big one for this business.
No.
But it will be you may as well use it because it's free.
I think what a lot of people mistake with social media is I think people go, you need loads of followers, loads. I mean, I think in anything you do, and what I'm doing as well, you don't want loads of followers. You want the right amount, the right people that are going to be, the people who are going to engage. You can go online and buy followers, and I could have 1 million subscribers tomorrow. But you're not getting that engagement from the followers. So I think in any business that you're doing, you need to have good quality followers. I'd rather have 1,000 engaged followers who watch me every day than 100,000.
100%.
Because you're going to get the right level of engagement and also get the right sort of, if you're trying to, monetize any business that you're doing, you want people who are going to buy into you and buy off you rather than just people who just bought on social media, if that makes sense. Yeah.
And I also think with this business, like I found that, because I use you a lot as examples, don't I? Because I get hit a lot with, oh, but you've got a big social media. I couldn't do that. Like my social media follow, and it's 25,000 people. It's not huge numbers.
Is that what you've got on Instagram?
On my house account, and I've got about 6,000 on my travel account.
Sorry, I'm gonna. This is a really good point. So did you start the house account?
Leverage off both.
Yeah. So did you start the house account before?
Yes.
So have you found that you've leveraged that account to get more followers on the other one?
Yeah.
Have you found? I mean, I don't know if you've checked this with your review, but. I mean, even anecdotally.
Can't wait to see this review.
Yeah, I know. I'm
nervous now.
I'm expecting the spreadsheet. I can put a link on in the show notes here. But so have you noticed, even if you've not got the figures to hand, have you noticed that people who follow you on there
will also follow me? Yeah.
And also have they? Again, I'm not expecting full figures, but have they joined?
Yes.
Okay, wow.
So for me...
That's something, the house account is something completely
separate. And I will speak about the travel side of things on my house account as well, because I would be stupid not to, because it obviously is a platform. Yeah. But for me, I've been hit with so many objections from people saying, well, I can't do it. You've got 25,000 followers. I couldn't possibly do that. So it's almost a bit of a hindrance in my business, having a big social media following, because it puts people off. Whereas, prime example, I go, well, look at Appy Travel Smart, like Michaela, she started with 0. I think me, your husband, a couple of other people were your first followers on Instagram. Wow. But she's now built it to over 2,000 organic people that want to follow her in her travel business. And so I've got everything thankful for social media. But I think it's so easy for people to go, oh, but you've got 25,000 followers. That's why you can do this. That's why you can do that. I've spent 8 years building an Instagram page.
Was it 8 years?
Yeah.
That's a long renovation.
And it's still not finished.
That's not for today. But,
that's still not finished.
Yeah, that's a long renovation.
But yeah, so I started my page. Well, how many years? 2017 I bought the house. So yeah, 7 years.
Wow. Okay. And where can they find that Instagram page and your
and travel one? So house Instagram page is at the Tale of Elmsvale.
It's for you nosy people who like renovations.
For you nosy people who want to see what my living room looks like. And travel page is Elmsvale Travel.
Okay, cool.
Which is solely travel focused.
Solely travel. Okay, cool. And obviously to get that sort of following is quite impressive on any page. So how did you build the initial following? Obviously, how many's on the travel page? How many followers?
About 5,000, just over 5,000.
Okay, and you've got around 25 on
the house.
On the house.
Yeah.
And so how, I suppose, if general strategy is, so how did you build that following?
Again,
You're going to tell them.
Consistency.
Yeah. Just literally.
I say it all the time, doing it with the girls, because one thing like I will try and do is I will try and motivate my team. Obviously that benefits me as well.
Of course,
if they're motivated, but you've got to be consistent. You've got to be consistent. People need to know who you are. People need to buy into to your lifestyle. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't show every aspect of my life on Instagram. Alistair would kill me for a start if I did. But from what people see, they see enough. They see, like, I do share my little boy on Instagram. I'll be sharing this baby on Instagram. Like, some people agree, some people disagree with things. But yeah, I think people like to watch.
But when did you? So
people.
You might not know the exact dates and figures. I'm not after that. But obviously, when we all start with zero, it's a hard slog, isn't it? So roughly speaking, let's talk travel account here. Actually, I know you've leveraged the home account, but when did you find that sort? Because with any sort of growth in any business that I've ever worked in, worked in multiple businesses, but normally when you start something, if it goes to plan, that is, you normally see exponential growth where we go up like that. Is that what you experience with your account?
Probably with the
more consistent.
With the travel one, I would say yes, probably. After we went to the Maldives, that was like what was Jensen's first holiday.
Nice,
the lucky child. And yeah, after we came back from there, I think people then started to take what I was doing actually.
So you were posting from the Maldives, and you were
Yes.
posting about, I've booked it through this and I've saved this much money and you should do it too. Jump on my Zoom call when I'm home.
Just being on holiday, I just think does make you.
It's attraction marketing.
It's attraction marketing, yeah. Like saying when I'm in
attraction
Disney.
marketing for people who don't know? What does that mean?
Basically, you're showing what you're doing is real by being on that, on that holiday or whatever it is that you're kind of in a way selling. Like you're showing that it's there.
Yeah. And I think on holidays, people see you on holiday wherever you are and they're like, well, I want a bit of that. Well, I've booked that through my platform.
So is attraction marketing me being on a yacht in Dubai and put it on a TikTok?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
I didn't know that till now.
100%.
I'm an attraction
People want a
marketing.
bit, people want a bit of that.
Oh, that looks cool. What he's doing.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
What does
I wanna
he
that
do?
too.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Basically,
And that's when you start to see that. And
Yeah.
same for you.
Yeah.
And
same.
I think that's why for me,
really good.
And again, this is probably like a tip for people in the business. People go on holiday to relax. I don't. I go on holiday to make money because that's when I'm going to get the most people that are interested in my business when I'm on that trip because I booked it through that travel platform.
Do you know what? If you weren't doing this and you weren't working a job, you'd be a great salesperson, You will be really good. You'd be the best. I'd say, come on, I'll pay you whatever you want, come work for me, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, unfortunately.
You never know, Alan.
No, I don't. No, you're making money while you're sleeping. You don't need to work in sales, I can assure you that. So what's been the most, I know we talked about this slightly, but what's been the most rewarding part of this? Not just talking financially. Listen, I always say it's not all about money. It helps, but it's not all about money. But what's the most rewarding part of this business for you two? Let's take money out of the equation, actually, completely. So what's the most rewarding? Let's start with you, Michaela. What is it?
I would say confidence. And I know it sounds a bit daft.
I like that.
Yeah, like I think
Do you think you've become more confident through speaking to people and
So much more.
Yeah, like when I started this business, I always thought it was pretty confident. Like, I've known you a long time, Alan, so you've always known that I've been very confident.
Yeah.
But I'd probably say, I don't know, really, it's a bit of a weird thing because I've always been like quite an outgoing person, quite a confident person.
Are you the sort of person that you're quite outgoing if you know someone, but if you don't know someone? No,
yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people can be quite confident with people that they sort of know or kind of know, but then speaking to someone who you never spoke to before is different, isn't it? So is that what sort of brought your
I'd definitely say that,
on?
but also like being more self-assured. So like I probably wasn't really, like I wasn't, it sounds a bit daft, but like I probably didn't like think that I was good enough to do something like this. Just kind of thought that, I went and did my 9 to 5 and had my kids and this is the life I lead and this is it.
Well, you've
and that was
proven
it.
to yourself by doing this that you can do more.
Yeah, and like even from an anxiety point of view, so like I suffer quite bad with anxiety, or should I say I did suffer quite bad with anxiety. And I have since I had my first little girl who's 7 now.
Yeah.
And always felt really anxious about stuff. Like, and again, probably didn't really come across like that, but I like deep down, I always have been. since then. Only since having the kids, don't know what it was. But then this travel business, when I first started, I think because some people do think that it's a bit of a scam, or you do find that you're having rejections and stuff. I think because obviously like I believe in this product so much, and that I actually can see, like, it makes me sad when people don't give it a chance, or that they kind of write it off straight away, because I just think, give it a chance. Like, look how much it's changed my life. Like,
and the
look
risk
around.
is very low as well.
And the risk is so low.
The risk really, from what I can gather anyway, and I talk about this in the online side hustle video, I put the risk of this business, I think I put it as 0.5 stars, if not 1.
It's
on
so
the video,
low.
you want to see the video yet, but basically I've ranked a lot of side hustles in terms of what risk they are. So I've gone like 2-star, 3-star, and I think I put 0.5 star on this.
If you think £142,
it's just the time, the risk.
Yeah,
it's the time.
But £142 for your startup, now that compared to so many other online travel agencies
is that low?
Minimal.
Oh, so low.
It's the lowest you're going to get.
It's lower than starting your own travel agency, because obviously you've got.
Yeah, I mean,
we can go on to that actually. We've segued into that quite well.
Little bit, yeah.
What's the difference between doing this and setting up on your own? So obviously, is this all tailor made? If you're going to set up on your own? There's obviously a lot of startup costs. So what is the benefit of doing this as a side hustle through IntelliTravel, rather than say maybe I'm going to try and give it a go?
Because you've already got the partner relationships.
Yeah.
So we've got excuse me, put my teeth in.
Yeah.
We have got contractual agreements with all of our 80 partners.
Right.
Now, you'd have to start afresh with that, wouldn't you?
Oh,
So
yeah.
you would literally,
relationships.
you'd have to start the relationships with the partner. Why would that partner trust you? Why would they
Yeah.
think that you were going to bring any sales on? Whereas with IntelliTravel, they've been in the business and the game for 30
30 years, yeah.
Wow.
So you think to yourself, well, they've already started that. They've already got those relationships built up. So there's no point of like recreating the wheel, let's be honest.
No.
But just as I said, going back just briefly to the anxiety side of things, like I was just trying to get my point across, was that I think because I am so confident about this business and that it has changed, like not in a cringe way, not in like a, just kill me off kind of way. It has changed things for me. Like I do feel much more confident in my actual self, like what I'm talking about. When I talk to people about stuff, I like, even if it's not travel related, I feel better because I know that I just feel so much more self-assured in me and self-confident in myself.
So it's confidence for you.
So for me, it's confidence. That's the big thing
Aside
for me.
from the money,
Yeah.
but it's because obviously we're all here to
And
make
obviously
money.
seeing, like I was saying, Kate and Hayley, big sort of things for me where I see
the mortgage
Kate being
paid
able
off.
to like chip away at an overdraft, which how was she ever going to do that before? Like genuinely, how was she ever going to
unless she got a pay
all she'd have
rise,
to do, she'd have to get a pay rise or work every hour God sends in the NHS.
Yeah.
Trying to, and then not seeing her kids very much because she'd have to be working so much to
Overtime,
pay that. So I think like those are the big things for me.
What about for you, Hannah?
So one of mine was going to be around helping other people, because I do think that means so much more sometimes, like seeing Michaela hit directorship and her getting that income and willable income to her children as well, like that's so much more for me.
We haven't talked about that.
No,
Willable
we do need
income.
to talk about that.
Willable income.
Okay, we'll definitely talk about that. Go on.
That is so much more to me than what it almost was getting my own. But for me, it's the time. That obviously is linked to money slightly, but it's having my Fridays off with my little boy that I never thought I'd be able to. It's being able to make memories, take him to Disneyland twice in 3 months and potentially maybe going again in September.
Hope you're not watching this.
I hope Ali isn't watching it because he's not invited. He's already told me no. But yeah, so I think for me, it's more the memories now that I'm able to create with my family, I'm able to see.
You've got
because
time
I've
back.
got that time back. Yeah, and time
Just imagine that.
so precious.
Yeah, it is. Just imagine how much time you'll have when you quit your job as well.
Yeah, can't wait.
Keep saying that to your own eye. So go on, just quickly. So willable income.
Yeah, you to explain that.
I'm
So
intrigued
this
by
is
that.
mega.
This is mega. So
I like
basically, in a nutshell, Planet Marketing, so the network marketing side of the business, and we will touch upon costs as well, because we've said £142, that's for your travel license.
Yeah.
Your Planet Marketing fee is roughly around £16 a month, because it's $19.95.
Okay.
But when you hit directorship in the business, so directorship is 100 people within your organisation, that is your first level of directorship.
Right.
Planet Marketing, Mr. Donald Bradley, CEO of Planet Marketing, will send you a letter that you need to get sorted. You get it signed, you get it done by a solicitor. Everything goes through legally.
Yeah.
but it's a Planet Marketing pledge.
Right.
And it's a pledge to say that, God forbid, if anything was to happen to you, and let's be honest, at some point it will for us all. If you are still paying that $19.95, so you could be 85, as long as you're still paying that $19.95 to have your Planet Marketing business and you've still got your directorship level, when something does happen to you, that money goes down to 2 people. Well, you can split it between however many people, but it goes down 2 generations. So for me now, if something happened to me either at this age or it happened to me when I was in my 70s, 80s,
90s.
my income would go to Jensen and future baby. And he would receive my director bonus. He would receive my weekly pays. He would receive my residual income.
Okay.
And then that goes down another level as well.
Like, for me, like as I said, you've set your kids up to basically pay the mortgages off. Like, if anything happened to me, their mortgages are paid off.
Yeah.
Every month.
And we have
by just our extra money that we've made for them.
Planet Marketing is a relatively new company. I think it's been around for about 10 years next year.
Right.
So you sort of go, oh, well, how many people have died in that time? We have had people through COVID and everything, that particularly in America, some in the UK.
How many agents are there across the world?
110,000.
So it's a fair few.
More about 120, I think.
It's 120. That's how fast it's going.
It's
110.
Huge.
It was only, I think it was 110 last month.
And that's in 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
That's, wow.
And it's probably seen its most growth in the last
we are
couple of years.
fully in momentum now as a business.
Is that because you two got on board?
Because the hybrid and the delegator got on board.
Hybrid and delegator. No, I love that. No, it's a willable income.
That's massive though. Like that's not
so
just.
It's a little bit like.
It's your job, not your job, but like is your job in the NHS or in Tesco or as a mortgage advisor going to do that for you?
You might get the death in. Me and my job, I would get a death in service. I get 2 years.
We don't get that.
But if I passed away, if I passed away, if I retired from my business when I was 65, say, if I then died when I was 70, I wouldn't get anything.
No.
Exactly.
That's the difference with this. And I think, again, just knowing that he's going to be okay or God forbid whatever happened, then that's enough for me to do it.
And what's the biggest piece of advice you both wish? Maybe more for Hannah, this actually, because you probably learnt a lot of lessons along the way and mistakes and I should have done it that way. And you probably passed a lot of that on to Michaela. You said obviously a bit of a mentorship going on. What's the biggest piece of advice you can give someone who wants to start this and to learn from any mistakes that you made in this business? So
probably 2 things I'd say. Okay. First thing is just give it a go. What have you got to? I sat on the fence for too long and honestly, it's probably one of, I don't really like to say I have regrets, but I could have been 2 years further ahead because I got offered the business 2 years before I actually joined. So imagine where I could be if I'd been a part of it for 4 years now and not 2.5.
Yeah.
So for me, what is the worst that can happen? You try a side hustle that you can earn an uncapped income from. It doesn't work. You walk away and you go to bed going, well, I give it a go. That's the absolute worst that can happen.
Yeah,
you're £142 worse off. Whereas it could completely and utterly change your life. So I would say biggest piece of advice would be to give it a go. Second thing would be to become obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Because as someone said something the other day and it really, really resonated with me. Yeah. They just said, if you are interested people chase their goals, obsessed people catch them. And I was like, if you're obsessed with it, you really will make a success out of it.
Yeah.
So like any business, isn't it? Like you've got to be obsessed with your business, otherwise it's never going to work.
No. You've got to see yourself and believe that you're going to be there.
I was speaking about this. I can't remember I was speaking about this the other day. I might have been speaking to myself, to be fair. Maybe I'm obsessed. But I was saying you've got to literally. I was on I had a board meeting this morning on Teams, and I was saying you've got to be absolutely obsessed.
Yeah.
Day, night, if you want to make success of anything. Now, listen, in all fairness, though, with this, I don't think you need to be obsessed if you want to make a few £100 a month.
No, not at all.
So I don't want people to think, oh, you've got to be obsessed to make this work.
But if you want to be making tens of thousands,
if you want to be replacing your income,
you need to be obsessed and on it and consistent and have your model ready. And you can either be obsessed by booking lots of holidays and obviously from your perspective, delegating as well. So obviously that's a different podcast content altogether. Being obsessed about your business and what you want to achieve, but I think for this is if you want to earn sort of $1,000 a month, let's call it, it's very achievable.
It's very cheap.
You don't have to be mega obsessed. You
You've just
Haley the hairdresser.
Exactly.
It's a good
Haley the
alliteration, isn't it?
She's flying.
Shout out to Haley.
She
But
is.
she's obviously flying, not done social media.
No.
She's not obsessed about it, but
Just
she's
word of
having
mouth.
just
She's
word of
having a
mouth.
good go.
it's a warm network, basically. And that's where you need to, when you first start out in this business, whether it's either deciding to book travel for people or it's asking people if they want to join and do it for themselves, look out for your warm network because at the end of the day, they trust you. Like they trust you. And that's where a little bit different to Hannah. Like obviously she's used social media as her leverage. I didn't have one. So for me, people have trusted me and I've hopefully given them the tools and the guidance to show them how this works.
Yeah.
And 125 people later, I can't be doing too bad.
No,
Do you know what I mean? I
not at
can't
all.
be doing too bad in that job and guiding people as much as possible and just showing them that like I'm just a normal person. Like I'm a normal person with 2 kids, my husband Richard and my dog Jax. That's it. I'm just very normal.
Yeah.
No influencer vibe, about me. I'm just I'm normal. But
That's Hannah the influencer, isn't it?
I wish.
But you can do it. Like anybody can do this. You've just got to really
action.
think about what are you doing it for? Like what's your why? Like what is the reason why you're getting up every day?
You've been watching my YouTube videos. Yeah.
Why are you getting up? Like why are you getting up or why are you staying up that hour later? Do you know what I mean? Like when you could have gone to bed at 10
You've got
o'clock.
a goal. You've got to have, whether it's, bridging the gap in your mortgage, whether you want to go away to Flores at the end of the year, you've got to have something
to work
towards.
towards.
What I always say to people is get a vision board, because if you create a vision board, and you ladies be more creative than me. I know my wife Stephanie, when she used to work, she used to get all her team to like a vision board and like a canvas, and they get the print sticks out. I mean, I'm not. I just go to visionboard.cc, have a look at it, and go, right, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I just do it. Pictures online, JPEGs or PNGs or whatever. But people do have vision boards that they can have hang in the house. I mean, I used to do it a lot more, but we get our team in agility to do it where they'll put it on the screensaver.
Still looking at it every day.
Yeah, each January we encourage everyone to do it, so that each day when they log in, you can have a lovely agility logo.
Brilliant time.
But genuinely they have it there, and then they look at it and then they go, right, I know what I want.
Yeah.
And it does work.
Yeah.
You can visualize it, conceptualize it, and essentially manifest what you want to achieve in your life.
Oh yeah, we're all about that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Manifestation.
But I'm always like, don't really. I do believe in it, but you've got to work for it. Like I think people believe they're gonna they're gonna read The Secret, and then all of a sudden someone's gonna whack 250 grand in the bank account. Doesn't happen like that. But if you can see it and you can honestly believe that you're gonna get there,
I think
you will.
more vision board than manifestation.
Yeah. Vision board. I'm hot on.
All right, ladies. So finally, before we finish, then, so where can we find you? Just for your social media handles, where's the best place to find you, Michaela?
So my Instagram page is @BeTravelSmart, and it's BEE. Like a bee.
A busy bee, like I said before. And we'll go for both accounts for you, because everyone likes looking at your living room, you told me. So
thank you.
And it's an expensive renovation, 7 years, so definitely take a look at it, I'm sure.
It's definitely still going. I have got 2 accounts. So my house account is @the_Tale_of_Elmsvale on Instagram, or I've got Elmsvale Travel.
Brilliant. Well, ladies, thank you. And thank you for all for watching. And if you've enjoyed this content, as I'm sure you always do, please like and subscribe to the channel. I've also put a link below in the show notes that you can see, which you can actually book a call with Michaela, so she can go through the business in more detail, whether you want to join, how much money you can make for yourself, set some goals and get you on board. So check that out. And thanks for watching, and see you all soon.